We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, everybody. It is Reality Rants. I am Jason Bermas. And look, I don't like being lied to or treated like a child. It's not my thing. And when I saw this latest story about how the White House is going to cautionally open the door to study blocking sun's rays to slow global warming, I had to put my hands in my head and say, this is I don't like being treated like an invalidic, moronic child. I made a film about this, and it was already taking place on a large scale. Geoengineering in this country, forget about cautiously exploring it. We're cautiously exploring it. They've already implemented a large, wide-scale geoengineering program in this country for the better part of 2 decades. And they've studied it World War II style with Ben Livingston. And
We have the documents, folks. We've got the documents. They're here. We're going to show you the exclusive before he died deathbed confession of Ben Livingston.
And I had to bring it up. Here's the thing. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of news that I think I want to hit. At the same time, in order to illustrate this, I want to do a watch along with the second chapter in Shade the Motion Picture, because I lay it out for you 10 years ago. All these geoengineering programs that are taking place, solar radiation management. It's a carte blanche to experiment on the general public. It's all it is. It's all it is. Under the guise of saving the world. We're saving the world! And, I watch a lot of the NASA channel. A ton of it. More than most people should know. It's usually on a loop. So, what you see one day is, running on probably a 6 to 8 hour loop for maybe a few days in a row. So you don't get a lot of new stuff. But they change it up every once in a while. They openly show you all the stuff they ain't doing in space. All these people that show the ISS in the pool. Yeah, I know it's there. It's not like it's a secret. They tell you they're working on climate change. They go to third world countries and show solar panels that are making water for the clean water, filtered water. Listen, here's the thing. Why are you giving these people breadcrumbs? Why aren't you building them an infrastructure where they have clean water? You ever think about that? Whoa, cowboy! Easy, sailor. Don't want to pull the veil back. So this announcement and kind of it going semi-viral, and I've seen the Simpsons meme. Burns was doing that how many years ago? 25, 30 years ago? Had a great Simpsons conversation with my premium guest, by the way, over the weekend, Kurt Metzger. I didn't realize how much we actually had in common. I'd met him before. We had a good time, but I mean, it was at one of his shows, and I'd driven like a couple hours to Wisconsin, and my brother was up, so, we didn't hang out all night or anything like that. But we've texted back and forth, kept in touch, and let me tell you something. He was great. It was 2 hours plus. That's why we didn't do two. I was like, you know what? There's no way I'm doing two interviews when I think we did like 2 hours and 22 minutes. Each one's like an hour 10. And it's an hour 10 of good stuff, I think a great conversation. So we got a couple pieces of that. By the way, you want to see that conversation, you want to support the broadcast, I really appreciate it. redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. $5 a month. That's it. All it is, $10 a month. See, it's early in the morning. Sometimes I get things wrong. It's actually $1 to start for the week. So if you hate the interview with Metzger and you hate the other premium interviews and you say, you know what, I hate this show, Jason, you can cancel. But for $10 a month or $100 for the year to lock it in, I usually give you 2 interviews, really 2 hours, 2 hours plus. Some of the guys stay, sometimes I do 2 when I do like 90 minutes, but we did almost 2.5 hours. I tried to get him to stay a little bit longer. He's sitting there pounding White Claws and hitting one of those damn vaporizing machines while we're doing it. But we had some great points, really good conversation. I'm going to play a little bit of that. We're going to play Shade the Motion Picture. We're going to play Ben Livingston. I've got a couple other clips we have to play. But first, other than the thumbs up, subscribing, sharing, going premium stuff, this is really important to me. Okay? The Sound of Freedom actually opens up today, a soft opening. And I don't know how you could call it a soft opening. In a theater that's a mile away from me. Cinemark's huge. So, guys, support this movie. 9:20 a.m. In an hour and 20 minutes. And by the way, this show is pretty much sold out. Let's see. Am I going there? Can I hit that? Yeah, there we go. So the only real seats left are the ones that nobody wants right in the front. And I've been there. It sucks when you're there on those. Like, the best seats are these couch seats here. So, look, tickets are $8.50. I'm going to be going sometime this weekend. I look, there's really not many seats left other than for the 10:55 show. But at the same time, we're not going to be live here tomorrow. It'd be a great time to catch up on the premium. Going to RVM and making sure that you're also subscribed over there. That's where the second hour is free. But why am I talking about Sound of Freedom? Because ourrescue.org is the real deal. If you go to if you follow my Twitter feed at Jason Bermas, or you go to my Rumble, you'll see a bunch of interviews recently with these guys, and they save actual kids, right? And I think it's worth helping people who rescue actual children that go through nightmares, like horrific, you can't believe them. With me talking about them right here, I can't do it justice. The gravity of the situation, nightmares. And they rescue those kids globally. And they do so in a fashion where they're not vigilantes, where they are working with law enforcement. And in my opinion, they're doing the right thing. So, to shine a light on the very real issue of human trafficking, and especially children, they've made this film about Tim Ballard. And if you watched the redacted clip, or you watched the show when I played it, Tim Ballard's the gentleman that was talking about Mel Gibson and this documentary series, this 4-part series. I think Matt Osborne of Our Rescue talked to me about it, which is upcoming. And I'm very excited about that. I want more of this stuff. The Hollyweird-driven stuff is trash. It really is. Like, it's hard to watch these days. Trash. Tell you what, I watched Beau is Afraid over the weekend because I'm that weird of a guy. It's a 3-hour film. Yeah. I could sit here and talk about that movie. I guess that's kind of the point. But it's one of the most bizarre films that is out there ever. I would rank it up there almost with like a Jodorowsky picture. It's like almost ultra Coen weird. Like if you took Coen and David Lynch and maybe threw them in a bag. But it's, it's uncomfortable. The whole thing is bizarre. I guess that A24 does, A24 actually put out The Green Knight too that my buddy worked on, which is a little bit different. But that's an independent art. They don't think they're going to make money back on that. I need, and you need, and we need these people not only to make their money back, but let's not make it about a movie. Let's make it about a movement. Everybody I've talked to that's seen the film, we talked about it with Quite Frankly. In fact, tomorrow, that's probably a good thing to put up. If I don't put it out later today, it's been about a month or 3 weeks, so that premium can go free. My interview with Frank, not the one I recently did on his program, but one we did exclusively for Red Voice Media. We'll put that up because we also had that conversation, I believe, on that, and he did see the film, and he said the film was excellent, and it needs to be seen. And look, Caviezel does good work. The Caviezel does good work. We can't deny that. So, I hope people go check it out, man. Go check it out. And look, all these days, tomorrow, and it's running through Thursday. I know it's the 4th of July tomorrow. Take a friend. Take a family member. All right. I don't want to just jump in to the geoengineering stuff and the 2 stories we have. White House releases report on reflecting sunlight to cool the earth. No formal study planned now. I mean, again, they treat you like a kid. Like you have a pea brain. The idea, that's the other thing. That's a good rant to go on. Now, let's not just go to other stories. I haven't seen Don't Look Up yet. Okay? For a number of reasons, I just didn't want to watch it. A lot of people who I respect said, no, you really should. And maybe I will eventually watch it, by the way. No, you really should watch it. I knew that it was like a metaphor for global warming, etc. And there was a lot of things in there. For instance, I believe the movie starts with like a boiling pot of water or something. Every time I thought to myself something about that, Don't Look Up, I thought to myself, well, we're kind of already at a point of Don't Look Up, right? Because, again, the last 20 years or so, it hasn't been the condensation. I'm 43 years old, about to be 44. The condensation trails, when you're a kid and you're sitting in the back of a car, you're looking up constantly. Guys, you're a kid. And I remember those times in the car and those road trips and looking up. And I saw plenty of planes. And, at an early age, I'd say, hey, what's that trail? And, oh, well, that's a vapor trail. It's a water trail. Look, it goes away as it goes in the atmosphere. Oh, okay. Well, that sure changed, didn't it? And it's streaks, and it's X's, and it's clearly teams of anywhere from just 2 planes to at least 6. Sometimes 8 when they're covering an area. And they're up there. And, one of the guys is on Colbert talking about it. It might be In Shade the Motion Picture. Way back. David something or other. And he talks about G5 airplanes, G6 airplanes. That's exactly what they are. Now, and they're retrofitted. And they're spraying heavy metals. And they're spraying sulfur oxide. And they're spraying whatever they want. Because it's totally unaccountable. It's totally unaccountable. You think the pilot that hits the button and the crew that loads it up are the ones that know what's in there? No, they're just told what's in there. It doesn't even have to be the same thing day to day, week to week, month to month. Wake up. And no, we're going to cautiously do studies. There's no plan. And the debunkers come out in force when people point this out. Oh boy, they can't wait to come. They'll tell you, no, it's they're not retrofitting anything. It's actually really a condensation trail. I love how the late, great Rosalind Peterson puts it in the film. Prolonged, condensation trails. Prolonged jet condensation trails. Don't even give them the term chemtrail. Oh, they can't. Ooh, you believe in chemtrails and brain chips and everything that's admitted. You believe in brain chips, Bermas? Whoa! Like, that's not a real thing that we've documented here over and over and over and over again. All right, we got to go to some commercials here, guys. We'll be back after a message from our sponsor.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
You know, I was looking in the comments section over here, and somebody said Jodorowsky's Holy Mountain, which is one of the films I was referencing. I mean, El Topo, he was actually supposed to make the original Dune instead of Lynch. And if you thought... Actually, I mean, when you watch the original Dune by Lynch, that's one of his most, like, non-bizarre, you can follow the plot pictures. Now, as far as the Holy Mountain, it tells a narrative for sure, but it says it's a bit foretelling. There's a scene in the Holy Mountain that is just, to me, it spells it out. It spells it out. And this is a film from the 70s. A very bizarre film from the 70s, folks. I mean, I don't want to get off on a rant here on Reality Rants, but we've done a whole video about this scene, and it's first of all, it takes place in a gymnasium, right? Like, and he had the budget; he could have put them wherever he wanted to, but for some reason, he wants to put all these really rich people in this gymnasium, in this big kind of open U-type table where something can come in and kind of slide in and out. And, you know, they're being served all this food, and they're eating like a gluttonous mother. All of them. They're all dressed up. They're done up. They're eating, I mean, the gluttony style. Just got chicken in their hand. It's gross. And it's meant to be gross on purpose. And then a magician comes in. Now, there's all sorts of, like, genitalia symbolism, you know, all that stuff. You name it, it's in here. And the movie is full of nudity and things you can't imagine. Got animals dying, the whole thing. Like, we're very... I don't know how it could be made anywhere in the world today. Let's just put it that way, okay? Magician comes in, and he's going to show all these people, these rich people, basically how they're going to enslave humanity with the city of freedom in the future. Right? You're like, what? And basically, this city is a grid of, like, coffin boxes that people just live in. A lot of people call them the pods now. And the magician, and it's the city of true freedom or something like that, the whole nine. And everybody's clapping. And they got some zombified, slave, naked woman illustrating how they're just going to get in the coffin pod. And they have, like, trucks coming up so that they can, you know, basically get the feces waste. And they're fed, like, they're not fed the chicken or anything like that. Every time I play that, I can't play it because, you know, I can take screenshots. I think that's what we'll have to do. I'll have to take, like, a screenshot every, like, 15 seconds. And show that, because every time I play it, I get a copyright strike, and they pull it. They pull that one. Yeah, that one just gets pulled from the public, just like Fox on YouTube pulled my video as soon as I showed the Simpsons and the voting machine corruption. Can't see that on YouTube. Can't comment on that. I mean, it's posted 15 other places in YouTube, not under Fox, and that's how we found it in the first place. But no, my channel can't play it. We can't do that. Let's get the thumbs up. Let's get to subscribing and sharing. And I guess what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Ben Livingston and old school InfoWars, so we can see the father of weaponized warfare, just so people get an idea how long they've been messing with the weather. Well, we're going to do a study on blocking the sun, protecting everybody from climate change. We're just going to do it in 2023. OldSchoolPrisonPlanet.tv. Pioneering stuff here.
My name is Ben Livingston. I'm the first person to ever see a cloud with the intention to cause it to do military damage. I know I can say that, and I did it several times before the next person did it.
Tell me what these clouds are we're looking at.
Well, these clouds were located up in the southern part of North Vietnam, and we needed to make rain down on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, Highway 1. But there weren't any real clouds around. There were a number. This was the end of the monsoon season, but there were a number of these small clouds that barely reached the freezing level, and by putting a small amount of silver iodide in there, we got them to collect and start to build.
See right there, silver iodide. Like that's just a start. You know, this is when they're starting their real geoengineering weaponized war program, Vietnam style. Okay? Ho Chi Minh Trail.
And as they built, we just worked on the largest tower in the group until in just a very short time we had the clouds that were...
You told me this cloud got 14 inches of
Well, this cloud, of course, this is all the same cloud. I was cleared top secret. Eyes only. I was as high as you could get. I got interested in weather modification when I was a farm boy. I never could understand why the clouds wasn't bigger, had a little more shade, and was chopping that cotton. So I got in the Navy. I managed to get into meteorology school, and I think that's really where I learned the most of my physics. I was assigned to the Typhoon Squadron in Guam, where I served for 3 years as a flight meteorologist and meteorological engineer. From there, I came back to additional school at Texas A&I University down in Kingsville, and from Kingsville, they sent me to the Hurricane Hunter Squadron in Jacksonville, Florida.
The Hurricane Hunters. I mean, come on now.
That squadron, of course, had just become involved in Project Storm Fury. So when I reported to that duty station as a meteorological engineer, I was immediately designated the military member of the Storm Fury Advisory Board. We were doing quite a lot of testing work out over the test range at China Lake, California, where we dropped cloud seeding flares or silver iodide generators into clouds or just where we wanted to see what the reaction was. And it was there when I learned for sure that you could really change a cloud by the amount of silver iodide you put in it and where you put it. This cloud here, from the time it started raining till it quit, it put out a little over 14 inches of precipitation.
What did that do to the North Vietnamese?
Well, it just washed all the roads out, and there was a bridge attached to a mountain that they'd bombed and could not get rid of it. This heavy rain washing out down that river took that bridge out.
So right there you see just baseline, the military advantage to this. All right, in the very, very early days. And by the way, Andy Jacobson talks a lot about this in DARPA and them kind of waging warfare the way they want to and experimenting on that populace back in the day via Vietnam.
So you guys finally got it done.
This was on October 13th. These are cloud seeding dispensing units on the side of C-130s. As you can see, these units held 52. These dispensers held 52 units.
But we're just looking into it, and don't look up. Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe your lion eyes. That they've been doing this for a very long time. we're going to cautiously look into it, Johnny. Boop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doo.
And under here, on this F4, we had these camouflage so they looked like they were...
Did you fly those?
Yes.
You piloted the F4?
Yeah.
So you're a jet pilot too, huh?
Yeah, I did these for about 7 years.
You fly them all, huh? That's neat.
And these were our own airplanes. The airplanes I had in my commercial cloud seeding business. See? I had a Duke, and a turbocharged Duke, of course, and Cessna 310 and a Turbo 210, and we built the flares that built them into the wings of our airplane so that they caused as little resistance as possible, or drag.
Let me just stop it here. Why am I showing you this part? Well, we're going to cut it off after the next break, but take a look at how small that airplane is. Remember I said G5s, G6s? That's a small airplane. When you have teams of these things, you don't really need to load up with that much to create cloud cover, right? But the large-scale C-130s, think about how much stuff they can carry. And again, think about what a team of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these things can do in an afternoon or a 4-hour period. I mean, come on now.
Possible. And these right here, these are pyrotechnics that we've cut in sections and fused them so that they could burn either singles or a pair, or cut half in two, or cut in 3 pieces, or cut in 5 pieces. So you can see obviously here, although these are dispensed in the vertical, they are essentially a horizontal cloud seeding device. See, that's how we made these clouds, like in Vietnam, work, because we could take a cloud, take a pyrotechnic like this, had a little bitty piece in it, and we'd fly by and just barely touch the cloud with one part. So that kept from blowing the thing apart, blowing the cloud up. But what we would do, and like in Carla or Rita, those kind of clouds, we would maybe use, this is one cloud seeding device here, cut into 5 pieces. But in one like this, you may be flying 350 miles an hour, kicking one out every 200 or 300 meters, and just essentially seed the whole area on the horizontal, and the whole top would blow away.
Amazing.
We were the first ones to fly into hurricanes for the purpose of modifying them, if you will. That was Project Storm Fury. I began to be extremely confident that we could do about what we wanted to with a hurricane. The Project Storm Fury had been going on since 1961, and they had already done 2 experiments, one in 61 and 63. Well, by 1964, when I was there in 1964, I wrote the plan and started to have a track and a mission for every flight that was on the hurricane cloud seeding experiments. So we had documentation for everything. Operation of Project Storm Fury are very positive. His report said that we claim they should consider now if a hurricane heads straight towards Miami.
So what he's telling you is we could knock out hurricanes if we wanted to back then. It doesn't happen a lot, does it? But Bill Gates has his hurricane machine. He could knock them out. You think I'm kidding you? I know everybody knows about Bill Gates and the solar machine. Bill Gates, we do it live here. Let's bring it on over. Okay, news with me. Bill Gates, hurricane machine. He's gonna save us from the hurricanes. He's gonna save us. In fact, we go over it in the film because it was patented before the film. Again, think about that. Well, then why don't they do it, Jason? It's a great question. They don't want to reveal the fact, at least openly, that they have this type of stuff for warfare to control the populace. They could give a rat's ass about you, maybe. Maybe this, again, is one of those things where you come to the realization they don't love you, that the system isn't built for the little guy. They love death and destruction and overtaking stuff. We're going to talk about that and more on the other side. Max Blumenthal in front of the UN exposing the war in Ukraine. Back after this.
We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. Act swiftly, 833-287-2465.
We are back. It is Reality Rant, second hour for free over at rvmrumble.com. Make sure to follow them. Give them that follow. Hit the notifications. By the way, thumbs this up, subscribe, share. We've been playing Ben Livingston, the godfather of weaponized weather warfare. And again, it's not new technology. It makes me ill when I see this kind of stuff. It's new. We're going to play the second chapter of Shade the Motion Picture in a bit, but I want to hit some other news. I want to talk about Ukraine. I want to talk about Blumenthal from the gray zone in front of the UN doing a bang-up job. Randy Credico out in Ukraine. Nuts of stone. I'm not willing right now to go out to a war zone and report from said war zone. I don't want to put myself in that kind of danger, quite frankly. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm not ready to sign off yet. French President Emmanuel Macron seen dancing at Elton John concert as riots, looting take place in Paris. You know, the riots and the looting that you're not seeing anywhere in the mainstream media. But hey, he's having a good time. He's loving Elton. Yeah. Like a candle in the wind. Right? Like a candle in the wind. Oh! Yeah. Oh, boy. Ah non, c'est délicat, c'est bon. Oh! Wesh! Wesh! And it's a shame. I really like the Lion King soundtrack. Oh, that's safe. That's good. I saw this everywhere on Fox News and CNN. And MSNBC. I like a candle in the wind. C'est quoi ce bordel, frère? I mean, pretty wild stuff. And by the way, I'm not condoning any of this. But we should be reporting. I'm especially not like looting businesses. But you know, should it be reported on? Yeah, sure should. You know what like journalists are supposed to do? So what the news is supposed to do? Tell you what's going down. When guys are walking down the street with chainsaws. Maybe. Bueller? Perhaps? mean, there's really nothing newsworthy here, right? Macron's dancing at Elton John. It's a circle of life. Oh, they got mini bikes. Yikes. Remember, it's the same Macron we saw just like walk by a dude like dying, just collapsing and falling. No big deal. He grew up with a life of privilege. He's better than you. We're not supposed to know about that kind of stuff. No big deal. No biggie. All right. Let's do it. Let's go to Randy Kretiko, reporting from Ukraine, showing that the Ukrainians themselves are shelling civilian areas within their own country. And this has been reported by others in the past. Randy Kretiko, he's been around for a long time, very much a part of the WikiLeaks, Russiagate, Roger Stone scandal, if you're unaware. But here he is. And that's the convo couch that was showing this, by the way. Good friends over there. Pasta Jardula, Fiorella, Isabella. See, this isn't even the clip that I found. I thought this was a totally different clip, but you can totally see it. Let's see if I can find the actual clip that I wanted of Kretiko. Did I not retweet that one? How could I not have retweeted that one? I retweeted this one for sure. Why didn't I treat... Let's see if I can find Randy Kretiko on here. Because we do it live. There it is right here. I found it. You know, that's a nice look. Here it is. Civilian targets. Boom. I love the internet. I love being a little tech savvy. Gets frustrating sometimes when I can't find what I need, but here you go.
Moments after, within 20 minutes of the other side that you saw, the bombing in the open market, which is across the street, this happened over here. Okay? That's the MO of these, I don't know what kind of special units they are with the Ukrainians, but they're launching in civilian populated areas. There's no military value to this. It's only civilians, and it's to strike terror in the public here. I mean, I'm nervous right now being here, all right? So I understand what their tactics are, but it killed 9 people. And so you can see the damage that was done by these hybrid rockets. They blast it once, and they come back, and they blast it again. As you can see, look at the damage that has been done here. Look at the floor here. I got to go. These are quick videos. We'll have more. I'm Randy Kretiko. Randy Kretiko live on the fly on 99.5 FM. As you can see, there it is in New York City, and for the Progressive Radio Network and the Pacifica Network. We'll have more.
I mean, that's ballsy. He's got balls, man. I'm not going there, especially not for this chump ass war, where hundreds of thousands of people are dead and nobody seems concerned. And they just want to keep pushing forward. And that's another reason why I love Max Blumenthal and what he's doing here.
Why are we doing this? Why are we tempting nuclear annihilation by flooding Ukraine with advanced weapons and sabotaging negotiations at every turn? We've been told by people like Senator Dick Durbin that Ukraine is literally in a battle for freedom and democracy itself. And therefore, anyone who opposes military aid to Ukraine opposes the very defense of democracy, according to this logic. So where's the democracy in Vladimir Zelensky's decision to ban opposition parties, to criminalize the media outlets of his legitimate political opponents, to jail his top political rival and his deputies, to raid Orthodox churches and jail clergymen? Where is the democracy in the Ukrainian government's imprisonment of Gonzalo Lira, an American citizen, simply for challenging the official narrative of Ukraine's war? And where is the democracy in Zelensky's recent decision to suspend elections in 2024 on the grounds that martial law has been declared? The answer is that Ukrainian democracy is harder to find these days than that country's commander-in-chief, Valery Zaluzhny. Senator Lindsey Graham has offered a much more grim and more on-the-mark rationale for supplying Ukraine with billions in weapons. As the senator boasted during a recent visit with Zelensky in Kiev, the Russians are dying. It's the best money we've ever spent. I repeat, the Russians are dying. It's the best money we've ever spent. And Graham has also said that Americans are ready to fight this war down to the last Ukrainian. While official casualty numbers are strictly classified, we must worry that Ukraine is well on its way to fulfilling the senator's ghoulish fantasies. As a Ukrainian soldier complained this month to Vice News, we don't know what Zelensky's plans are, but, quote, it looks like the extermination of its own population.
Yeah, because Zelensky doesn't care about the common person. He's an actor. He likes the cocaine. And look, I know that Credico likes the cocaine too. I had a great conversation with Kurt Metzger, and basically cocaine and celebrity and the dark secrets in Hollywood and just how your brain changes when you're doing that much of a drug, especially that drug. It messes with your endorphin centers. It messes with your very physiology and how you act. All right, you become, sociopathic over time. And everybody's seen old Cokey Nose's videos, all I'm going to say. Everybody's seen. That's not on CNN, Jason. Well, that's not on MSNBC or Fox News either. Think about that. You got a world leader that can get us into World War III, and nobody in the mainstream media will even report that. Old Cokey Nose. And by the way, the vast majority of those people that were doing their own research, reading or watching documented videos of how it went down, those people already know it's a scam. They get it. They're like, whoa, we're screwed on this one, huh? We installed this guy. This isn't a democracy. Yikes. Yikes. Don't do your own research. Don't listen to Max Blumenthal. Don't worry if, again, nuclear war could kick off because of this. No big deal. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, Jason.
Like of the combat-ready and working-age population. That's it. Indeed, military cemeteries in Ukraine are expanding almost as rapidly as the Northern Virginia McMansions and beachfront estates of executives from Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and assorted Beltway contractors benefiting from the second highest level of military spending since World War II. These are the real winners of the Ukraine proxy war, not average Ukrainians or Americans or Russians. The winners, or Europeans for that matter, the winners are people like Secretary of State Tony Blinken, who spent his time between the Obama and Biden administrations launching a consulting firm called West Exec Advisors, which secured lucrative government contracts for intelligence firms in the arms industry. Blinken's former partners at West Exec include Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines, CIA Deputy Director David Cohen, former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, and almost a dozen current and former members of Biden's national security team. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, for his part, is a former and possibly future board member of Raytheon, and an ex-partner of Pine Island Capital Investment.
Wait, Max, you mean they're going to make money? You mean they value money over the lives of innocent people? And peace? And negotiation? And lending a hand to their brothers and sisters? Trying to uplift humanity? Get out of town. Get out of town, Charlie Brown.
Which collaborates with West Exec and which Blinken himself has advised. Meanwhile, the current U.S. ambassador to this body, the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, is listed as a senior counsel at the Albright Stonebridge Group, a self-described commercial diplomacy firm that also finesses government contracts for the intelligence and arms sector, and which was founded by Madeleine Albright, infamously known for her comments that the deaths by sanctions of 500,000 Iraqi children were worth it. So while military-age Ukrainian men are ripped off the streets by military police and sent to the front lines, the financially and politically connected architects of this proxy war are planning to walk through the revolving door to reap unimaginable profits once their time in the Biden administration is over. For them, a negotiated settlement to this territorial dispute means an end to the cash cow of close to $150 billion in U.S. aid to Ukraine.
thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Remember, redvoicemedia.com/uncensored to support the broadcast. RVMRumble.com for the second hour. Last segment of the first hour coming up after this.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Have you been threatened with levies or have unfiled returns? The IRS is hiring 87,000 agents to boost IRS collections, and they have the power to seize assets, freeze bank accounts, and they can even take your home. Tax Network USA can help you today before it's too late. Our CPAs and certified tax experts have proven strategies that work for taxpayers time and time again. These same strategies have saved over $500 million in back taxes, permanently resolving tax debts for good. Stop collections and get relief today before it's too late.
All right, we are back. I want to hit some of these stories before we do the Shade the Motion Picture watch along. I'm also going to play at least one segment of my conversation about Hollyweird and I believe Arnold Schwarzenegger with Kurt Metzger. That is the premium this weekend. Broke it up into two, over an hour in each one. Funny, insightful for those that don't know Kurt. I mean, he's been around a long time. I didn't know he worked on Who is America. That segment is available on all sorts of platforms at this point. But I'm definitely going to play this one clip where we talk about Hollyweird in general. I want to hit these stories, however, because there's some good ones here. Artist who turns vacant buildings into centers for black culture in the Bay Area is accused of owing hundreds of thousands in rent. There is no substance backing up these visions. So first of all, I don't care what this person does. I don't care who this person is. Okay? I'll be quite honest. I didn't click on this story for any of that. I clicked on it because how in the world do you owe hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent? Think about that. Hundreds. First of all, I mean, that's impressive for anybody. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in unpaid rent. I mean, 10,000, 5,000 attorney fees. Okay. But if you look at this, Broadway, San Francisco, you realize what you're paying? I mean, take a look. It's not like she's living in extravagance. Here, maybe a little bit different. Okay. $100,000 in back rent right here in this spot. $100,000. Yikes. I mean, that should let people know the absurdities of how much almost 300 some of these buildings cost to live in. Like, I mean, you have a decent studio in New York City, it's going to cost you maybe $4 or $5 grand a month. So that's really, I wanted to show that the cost of living for something semi-decent that could, house a human being is over the top. Over the top. Biden ripped for having aides say he has only 6 grandchildren and completely ignore Hunter's 4-year-old daughter, Navy Joan, despite first son ending dispute with baby mama. Yeah, but don't you understand? It's not... I thought the best part about it is that he says, I'm crazy about my grandkids. I talk to them every day. No joke.
I have 6 grandchildren, and I'm crazy about them. And I speak to them every single day. Not a joke. Matter of fact, I just got finished going through the calls, and only one of them answered the phone. But at least I got to leave a message. And my oldest granddaughter is named after one of my daughters who I lost in an accident a long time ago, and her name is Naomi. And then I have number 2, I have a daughter who works in the environmental movement, and her name is Finnegan, and named after my mom. And number 3, my granddaughter, I call her my All-American girl. She was a great little athlete, and she's about to graduate from college in about 2 weeks. And her name is, the nickname We call her as Maisie.
He can't talk. That's an old man rambling. He even snuck in the fact that his first daughter and his wife died in a car accident. He didn't say that, but he slipped in, died in an accident with the kid. He's done. He's toast. He was toast before he got in there. I mean, it's sad for a number of reasons. I'm not trying to like speak up for Joe, but my goodness. I mean, yikes. All right. I want to play this clip of Metzger and I talking before we run out of time here in the first hour. We do it live. That's how we do's it. And again, Kurt's a fun guy, man. That's all I can say, that this was a fun conversation.
That story that he told me, it reminded me so much of that sketch, and I was like, holy shit. And that's how they do ops, and like it's the same method as like a prank or something. It's priming, and then just putting you in the right mind state, and you do whatever. And some people,
that is why I'm extremely skeptical of this whole alien agenda, and the fact that you have all these whistleblowers coming forward, many of whom, the majority of whom, have never claimed to see an alien body. Now, that's a whole nother subject. But we talk about priming, for instance, right? Now, let's talk about Lazar's story, an NLP, and trying to get a message out there. Now, if you're bringing somebody in that you're not sure of, right, doesn't have the military clearances, but you know that he's a pretty smart guy, one of the things that he's talked about was they gave him all these briefing documents that at first he thought were fake. But they were about aliens and the Zeta Reticuli and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's never claimed to actually see an alien except for in that one instance. Maybe he looked into a room and saw something, and who knows, he may have been primed for that, right? So over and over again in this subject, what I find is the technology seems to be real, 100%. But anytime I hear about an interaction with aliens, whether they be the gray kind or, there's this other woman that I watched in front of the White House with, some of these disclosure people talking about meeting aliens that were tall in a hollowed out mountain. You know the deal. Palladians, whites, there's the bird, the avians, all this stuff.
Okay. So
my point is this, and listen, everything I've ever seen, whether it be the Phil Schneider story or whatnot.
I don't know about that.
You don't know the Phil Schneider story? Man,
no. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That has a lot of
validity. I don't think so either. By the way,
it's somewhat. That seems like very much like.
Oh, does it? The shootout with the aliens, where he's the sole survivor after a laser beam fight.
By the way, just so you know, I don't have like beliefs or something.
No. I agree.
Wild speculations based on weird memory things. But finish what you're saying.
Now, all I'm saying is, we've had so much technology suppressed from us and information. This will tie into what you were talking about with all these Nazis that came over, right?
Yeah.
During World War II. And really, if you look at the genesis of the Central Intelligence Agency, what you're looking at is the OSS and the Skull and Bones crew and the Nazis. That's the main drive.
They always liked the Nazis. It was a shame to have to go fight these guys. It was a shame. They were so efficient and so had control, and they're better than commies, right? So, of course, I love when they bring up the good war. And we're such a good country that there was no hard feelings. After the war, we made sure to save as many, and not just the scientists, as they say, because I used to think that, and I'm like, well, okay, they wanted to get their shit. What are you going to throw them away? No, they're psychopaths and maniacs that we could put in other countries to just destroy their companies and then install in many of our corporations, especially the tech industry. What's his fucking name from Watergate? He was on Fox.
G. Gordon Liddy?
Yeah, that guy. And now HBO has a series about that, which is not as funny as it should be. I mean, the acting's good. But it was so like, I don't know what was off about it, or it wasn't very funny, but I had to look. I'm like, this guy was that guy was that Nazi-ish. And he goes, no, I know they were horrible, but as a young asthmatic boy, it just hearing Hitler speak electrified me. and made me feel confident. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, dude, I mean, that's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's trying to like go on the Nazi apology tour now. But if you don't know about that, he actually dreamed of being a dictator on a hill, and he admired the way in which Hitler spoke and commanded an audience. That's an old Playboy interview. On top of that, actually, we'll do this one live. This is a fun one. So he's on the cover of Time, Newsweek. No, it's Time Magazine. Time Magazine. So let's do it. Time Magazine cover with Michael Bloomberg, no less. Bloomberg, Schwarzenegger. And what do you think we're going to find on this one if you had to do a guess, if we're talking Nazis?
That Bloomberg surprisingly cool at Nazi shit.
There is that.
Based on his his love of stop and frisk.
I mean, that's a little bit of it, but it's going to be, let's see. I want to open image in a new tab. Here we go. This is fantastic. What we're going to find is here's Arnold with his arm around it. Whoa, wait, what's this? Oh, he hates the Nazis so much. He's got a giant death's head Nazi belt buckle. So that, let's just zoom in a little
cool.
further.
It's just being cool. What are you going to what are you going to say, Ukraine's Nazis because they got the black son of Himmler's SS all the time? They can't stop Sig Heilling.
I mean, now, again, he's talking about Nazis and how they're everywhere in America. And,
he basically just likes a timely train. It's not so sinister. He just likes physical perfection and weeding out the weak elements of society.
You know how Arnie came up, right?
Prisoners. What?
Do you know how Arnie came up?
How? What do you mean? In weightlifting?
No, in Hollywood, man. So he was a houseboy. If you don't know it, Arnold Schwarzenegger lived with a guy who put out nude photos of him in his magazine, along with other bodybuilders. If you type in...
No, every Nazi cliche. Go ahead.
No, if you type in Arnold Schwarzenegger nude spreads, you'll find out that, yeah, he was basically... That's like how he started getting his acting gig.
Get the whole story on Red Voice Media Premium using the link below, completely uncensored and ad-free.
RedVoiceMedia.com/uncensored and RVMRumble.com to go over to the second hour we're about to hit in the next few minutes. Great conversation with Kurt. If you're unaware of all the things that I was just discussing, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's also more with the Nazis and Kurt Waldheim. And by the way, the United Nations and Kurt Waldheim, if you don't know. So all that's worth looking into. It was great to talk about these kind of subjects with Kurt Metzger. Let's hit some more stories before we go over to the other side. And we do the Shade the Motion Picture Geo-Engineering Joey B watch along. All right, because they're just gonna look into it now. We're finally gonna look into stopping global warming by spraying the skies and other types of solar radiation management. Even though we've been doing it for decades, but we're just gonna start now. That's what's happening. Slippery Kevin Spacey attacked victim in car on the way to Elton John's White Tie and Tiara Ball. Hollywood star's sex assault trial here's actor tried to groom first victim and promised to introduce him to A-list celebrities. I can't imagine. Look, Elton John again. Oh, weird. Macron Elton John, Spacey Elton John, Epstein Elton John. Oh, you didn't know? You didn't know they had a little connection via charities in a camp? Huh. How about that? You didn't know about Elton John being stopped at an airport accused of some very bad things? Weird. It's bizarre. It's weird. We're going to stop here. We're going to play one more commercial, okay? And then when the commercial's over, I'm going to come back over to YouTube really quick to tell you where you can find the second hour. Hint, it's RVMRumble.com.
We love the internet, but the internet is tracking everything you do. Take control of your online privacy with IPVanish. People with malicious intent are everywhere, watching you. Criminals can hack your Wi-Fi, while broadband providers and advertisers monitor your data. With IPVanish on your device, your internet activity is encrypted. No one can see what you're doing. Your location, your connection, completely hidden. Protect your internet privacy today with IPVanish.
RVMRumble.com, RVMRumble.com. That's where you're going to find the second hour. I'm going to remind people again. It starts today. See if it's in your area. Sound of Freedom. Please go support this movie. Bring a friend, bring a family member. Let them know this is a real issue. And again, get behind children being saved. YouTube, I love you, but we are going to have to see you on the flip side over at